Cillian Murphy is a beloved Irish actor that was born on the 25th of May 1976. He is known for the fact that he performed as a songwriter for the Sons of Mr. Green Jeans, where he was also a guitarist and the lead singer as well. He actually turned down a record deal during the 1990s and instead chose to start acting, which ended up being a smart decision and a great way to showcase his skills in an adequate manner. Since then, he has starred in a multitude of great movies. These include 28 Days Later, Disco Pigs, but also Red Eye, Breakfast on Pluto, and so on. For the last one, he actually was nominated to receive a Golden Globe, a testament to his qualities as an actor. Cillian Murphy was born in May 1976, and his mother taught French while his father was working at the Department of Education and Skills. Many of his relatives were also teachers as well. He lived in Ballintemple Court with his sisters and brother. The interesting thing is that even from an early age, he started creating songs and also performing them. He has been Catholic from early on. However, he did get into trouble while being at the school, which was quite challenging in its own right. The first time he truly performed was actually during secondary school. He was part of a theatrical module at the Corcadora Theatre Company. Cillian Murphy himself stated that this experience was very fulfilling and enjoyable for him, and he did learn a lot from the entire process. Aside from that, during his late teen years and down to the early 20s, he continued playing the guitar and sang for multiple bands. He and his brother were a part of those bands, and they liked the Beatles a lot during that time. They were creating unique, rather wacky lyrics and a multitude of guitar solos. They did receive some attention to the point where Acid Jazz Records actually delivered them a 5-record deal. They rejected it due to the company not offering enough money. In retrospect, this was the ideal thing to do, because he would have sold a multitude of years of his life and he would not have the freedom he would have wanted from a creative standpoint. He pursued his studies at the University College Cork. However, here he failed the first-year exams because he did not have any ambitions. He was busy with the band, and within a few days, he understood that this was not the place for him. Around that time, he was also the lead in Little Shop of Horrors, which was performed at the Cork Opera House. At first, he just wanted to go to parties and meet women, so he didn't really want to start an acting career. But this eventually caught on, and it was an ideal concept to take into consideration. Cillian Murphy did pressure Pat Kiernan, and he eventually got the audition at the Corcadorca Theatre Company. It was in 1996 when he did manage to debut. His first proper role was of a Cork teenager. Many started to discover Cillian Murphy because he was very enigmatic and his presence was very distinctive. Aside from that, he also did many different theatrical productions. These included Juno and The Paycock, The Country Boy, Much Ado About Nothing, and so on. He found a lot of success in these, and that's when he started to appear in many independent movies. He was in On the Edge, but also Watchmen and Filian a Fil. He was part of the play Disco Pigs, and he also reprised his role in the movie with the same name for the big screen. Not only that, but he also entered The Way We Live Now, a BBC adaptation miniseries which was also very successful. During this time, he actually relocated to Dublin, and eventually he moved to London in 2001. That really managed to showcase his expertise and professionalism. Around 2022, he already had many prominent roles. He did enter a theatrical production during that year named The Shape of Things. Many praised his performance because it was intelligent, unique, and subtle. After that, he was cast in 28 Days Later, which quickly became a cult hit. This movie was more than just a horror or zombie movie. It was deep and intriguing, and it had a lot of interesting ideas regarding our society. With that being said, he did manage to receive a nomination for the Best Newcomer at the 8th Empire Awards. He was also very proud of the performance and movie as a whole, something that translated very well later on. The next year, he played the role of Constantine in The Seagull, and the same year he worked on Intermission with Colin Farrell, which quickly became one of the highest-grossing Irish films at that time. He was still doing theatrical work, so he toured Ireland alongside the Druid Theatre Company in 2004. He did start taking on villainous roles, and for many, the most memorable one was Dr. Jonathan Crean in Batman Begins. He was initially asked to audition for Batman, but he didn't think he had the physique for that, so taking on a villainous role was more suitable for him. And as we know, he did a very good job in the role, which is what matters the most. He also took the role of a transgender Irish woman trying to find her mother for Breakfast on Pluto. This was a novel adaptation, and it did take a while for that movie to be made. But it managed to pay off, because he was eventually nominated for a Golden Globe and his performance was highly appreciated during that time. During 2006 to 2007, he continued to work on various theatrical productions. On top of that, he also starred in Sunshine, where he took the role of a physicist astronaut that had to reignite the sun. He also had a small appearance in The Dark Knight and also starred in The Edge of Love. The interesting thing about his appearance is that he did manage to enter a plethora of other productions. Some of the most popular ones include Peacock, a psychological thriller, and he also worked on Inception. It was during the same year when he had a small cameo as the previous Tron antagonist in Tron Legacy. His career continued to shine quite a bit, since he starred alongside Sigourney Weaver and Robert De Niro in Red Lights in 2012. Additionally, he even reprised his role as Scarecrow in The Dark Knight Rises. And yes, he also had a supporting role in an independent film named Broken in 2012. Starting with 2013, he played the role of Thomas Shelby in Peaky Blinders, a series that received a lot of critical acclaim. The next year, he worked on Transcendence and Aloft. Some of his more recent work is Free Fire as well as Dunkirk, where he played the role of an army officer that recovered from a ship. The interesting thing is that he also played a role in A Quiet Place Part 2. He is also going to work in Oppenheimer, which is a movie by Christopher Nolan and which will release at some point in 2023. Cillian Murphy is a very distinctive actor, and unlike any other actor out there, he doesn't have a publicist, which is very uncommon for an actor these days. On top of that, he travels without anyone else or an entourage. He even goes to premieres alone. He is very private and reserved, and he doesn't really have that much interest in the celebrity scene or anything like that. Cillian Murphy even stated that he doesn't really have any appeal when it comes to red carpets. Needless to say, Cillian Murphy doesn't speak about his life outside of acting. He didn't even appear on talk shows until 2010 when he was already a very well-known star. Cillian Murphy doesn't really like controversy, and that's why he keeps his life very private and away from the public, which he considers is for his own good. He did receive the distinction for one of GQ's 50 Best Dressed Men in 2015, so he was appreciated for his unique style. Cillian Murphy is also known for being an activist, and he became a patron for the UNESCO Child and Family Research Center. He married Yvonne McGuinness in 2004, and he never expressed the need to move to Hollywood or anything like that. He also was a vegetarian for multiple years until he eventually started eating meat again so he can bulk up for the Peaky Blinders role.